Good afternoon, wonderful YouTube subscribers. New day, new headband, new attire. Let's do this. Let's focus on A1 and A2. I wonder if I could do it all in a cat mask. We shall find out. So, actually, no, I can't see a thing. I'll leave it up here. So well done for all of you fantastic people who have managed to include already and submit your A1s. There's been some brilliant responses already and so many full marks. So little round of applause to you for getting 4 out of 4. If you haven't had the opportunity to submit it, please email myself or Miss Cottingham so we can give you some direct feedback. What I was really pleased with was the fact that people didn't kind of embellish, add too much content for those 4 marks. Nationally, like last year, people hit 3 marks out of 4, and it's been fantastic seeing you guys hit 4 out of 4. Okay, so if you're unsure of your EBIs, give me a little message, email me, and I will try as quickly as I can to give you some feedback, obviously whilst I'm choosing a new headband for our next video. So this week's work, we're going to focus on A2 and also B1, the start of B1. I've just got up here my exam paper. So I'm going to just have a little look at A1, talk about the structure, how to answer the question, how to get 4 marks. This is a 6-mark question. In the exam, roughly 8 minutes. Realistically, it's not a huge onerous question. So be thinking, you know, if you're spending more than 15, 20 minutes on this question, you're way over the exam time. And it's not a realistic indication of how much time you'll have in the summer next year. So the question says, A2, you are going to play Winston. So you are going to. And a few people, only a few minor people, were not using the word as a performer. I would. As a performer, as an actor. A1 and A2 is all about you as a performer. Okay? And it says at the end, he is in pain. So the biggest difference, and if you're not clear of this already, between A1 and A2 is that A2, the question's really specific. You're gonna be asked to choose the skill to be able to answer the question. So just make sure that you have really highlighted, he is in pain. That is what the question is asking me to indicate. It's asking me to choose the skill to correlate to the question. Okay? And then it says, as a performer, so it's reminding us that we need to include as an actor, as a performer. Give 3 suggestions of how you would use performance skills to show this. So a performance skill is any vocal skill, any physical skill. And again, if you're concerned or confused, at the beginning of the revision guide in the light blue section, have a little look, and it outlines the whole of the performance skills in the light blue sections. Okay. So if you're unsure of what performance skill is, so that's vocal or physical, and you get to choose to correlate to the demands of the question. And it just says you must give a suggestion, a reason for each of these suggestions. So it's just that same nice structure. Skill, quotation, intent. However, my skill has to relate to the question, and also my intent has to relate to the question. So let's have a little look at the extract. So I'm playing Winston. I'm just scrolling down to the extract, so just bear with me a second. So I'm going to have a little look at when Winston is in pain. Yes, so the quotation I'm going to use is on page 6 of the essay structure, and the quotation I'm going to use is where he says, "For what else can I say for?" So I'm going to start off this as a performer. Playing Winston, one performance skill that I would use to showcase how I am in pain is through the use of my vocal skills. Okay, or I might decide to use as a performer playing Winston to showcase how he is in pain. One vocal skill that I would use would be my tonality and pace of voice. For example, on the line 4, what else can I say for? As a performer, I would increase the pace of my lines and decrease the sense of clarity in my voice. This would indicate, this would reflect, highlight, this would reference, this would demonstrate to my audience how at this moment I am not only in pain, but I am also terrified of what O'Brien may do to me. So it's that same structure, skill, quotation, intent. And I have to pick 3 in total. So that's 3 paragraphs, 2 marks for each paragraph. If you leave a paragraph out, you can only get 4 marks. If you just do 1 out of the 3, you can only get 2 marks. So 3 separate paragraphs, skill, quotation, intent, and vary the skills. So if I'm talking about vocal skills, I might then talk about physical skills. I might then talk about stage space, or I might have 2 physical, 1 vocal. It doesn't matter too much. Mix them up though, because it does ask for performance skills, and this question is varied. And don't just say this would indicate how I am in pain. This would demonstrate how I'm in pain. To get 4 marks, you need to think about what you're showing in your intent. So my second example, for example, I might say as a performer, the second performance skill that I would use would be to vary my eye contact. Okay, so varying my eye contact and slump my posture even further. On the line, I don't know, I don't know. So I've used a different quotation in the extract. Each 3 performance skills must have 3 different quotations, 3 different performance skills, and then finally, like, the intent has to be about him being in pain or me being in pain, but I need to kind of be a bit more intelligent. I can't just keep repeating this would indicate how I'm in pain. This would reflect how I'm in pain. Okay, so my second example, my second performance skill that I would use to showcase how I am in pain would be through my use of varied eye contact and my slump posture. So there's my outline of skill. For example, so this is my quotation, on the line, I don't know, I don't know. At this moment, as a performer, I would decrease my posture and vary my eye contact. And then my intent, this would showcase not only how I'm in pain, I've answered the question, however, this would showcase how any hope that I once had is now being drained out of me. And then I would need to do a third example. Skill, quotation, intent, skill, quotation, intent, skill, quotation, intent. Okay, so you need to repeat that structure 3 times. And realistically, you're going to need to focus on a few things. One, I'm unsure of what performance skills are, sir. And I'll put this on class charts for you. Look at the blue part of the exam paper, the revision guide, and have a little look at that. And refamiliarize with those performance skills. So task 1, what you're going to do. You're going to turn to your revision guide, if you have it, and I lent you all one before we left, before the break.